Hello, interwebs. I have neglected you long enough, but to be fair, you've been neglecting me and this entire show pretty much since the inception. So, turnabout's fair play. I haven't been here for you to not watch. Ha-ha! How's that feel? Bet it hurts. Bet it hurts a lot. Probably mostly me. Anyway, this is The Back Room at Famous Faces and Funnies and Get Your Fun On. And this is a dork. And that is a big sexy dork, but you can't see him because the camera is not so automated. But that's a big sexy dork's hand. I am here to talk to you about some comical books because that's what we do on F3G2. I almost said FCBD, but we're checking in all the free comic book day comics, and those initials are in my head. Anywho, let's do some Darth Vader applying the wet look. As you can see, black goes with everything. And sometimes when you go to the beach, you just want to keep covered up because of your hideous, hideous burn scars from the time that your best friend and mentor left you for dead after slicing off all of your limbs and leaving you beside a volcano so that he could someday tell your son
Lava River
that, this was, you would have wanted him to have your laser sword. Stupid Marvel covers. Marvel covers are the worst, whatever they're made of. DC covers don't do this, but if you touch a Marvel cover long enough, all the black ink comes off and you end up with these fingerprints. Every damn time. Get your shit together, Marvel. It's kind of like these are things. It's like Marvel's like, you'll never own a mint Marvel book if you took it off the shelf. If you touched it, anywho.
You have to get beat.
This is the Empire versus the Mon Calamaris. And the last little bastion of, Jedi hope, because they don't know where Obi-Wan and Yoda are, is on there ready to issue their plan that it's a trap. It's a trap. The Mon Calamari said it, and it's a trap. I didn't even think of that while I was reading. I love this cover, aside from my stupid fingerprints. Fuck you again, Marvel. They do this every time, and it really... Nobody else! I can buy I can buy those freaking $1 fucking alternative press books with the black and white inside. Their covers are fine. Always the Marvel covers. We made 11 variants, but you're gonna fuck them all up if you touch them. Fucking Marvel. I'm bitter because I really like this cover.
This is gonna go on for a while.
It is. Because I'm sad. Anyway, so the plan is that they're gonna capsize. Mon Calamari don't give a shit about their surface cities. That's really just as a it's a port of call for everybody else to come in, and then they live under the fucking water. They're fish people. So, yeah, they sink everything. And the Empire's like, oh shit. And we end with, we end with, oh no. Could this be the end of Vader as he sinks? Because that armor is not exactly conducive to swimming. And look, there he is, looking so cool, except for those fucking fingerprints. But, can't wait to ruin the shit out of this cover. Look at next issue. It's like a Darth Cousteau over here. Cool. Just, fuck you, ocean bottom.
Just have him come out and just...
Yeah, he's like, die, coral reef. Execute order fishy fish. I'm so stupid.
Fingerprint.
Yeah, I deserve to ruin my colors. See this darkness in here? I ain't gonna touch that. This one's got a little extra gloss to it, so it might hold, but fucking Marvel. All my Spider-Man covers have like smudges in the middle of Spidey. It means I read the book going, oh yeah, I forgot I'm reading a Marvel book. They get me every time. It's this. I got ink on the same finger that if I try and have any of my books CGC'd, which I would never do, but if I ever did, yeah, they can all hold up an inky finger to me and go, "It's worth nothing. Your fingerprints are all over it." But if anyone ever steals your comics, you'll know who. Because the fucking fingerprints will be everywhere. Anyway, is this the end for Quicksilver? I'm guessing probably not. Because one,
It's not the same
everybody
universe.
dies in one issue and comes back in the next issue in Marvel events. And two, unless they want to, do something big like a Superior Spider-Man, or hey, this is the death of Wolverine, but don't worry, we've got Old Man Logan, we've got two different sons of Logan, we've got the clone of Logan and the clone of Logan's clones. Yeah, and then we're bringing Logan back. It's like nobody even had time to miss him. There's a million of them. But anywho, this Avengers No Surrender, partway through, I was bitching about this for the first couple issues. I know it's hard to imagine me bitching. But I was, until issue 4 or 5, and suddenly, this is part 14. So we're in, it hit a stride, and I was like, oh, even one of the things that I was bitching about, they're like, we made you bitch, because it was part of the plan. I think they did it. They're like, this will make that guy bitch on that show that no one listens to. And I'll be like, damn you, Marvel, you make me eat my words. They were delicious. I had them with salt and a slight cheese sauce. Anywho, Quicksilver makes an at least temporary sacrifice in order to unleash everybody that's frozen. So now all the heroes and villains are free to help fight Grandmaster, or whatever he's calling him. The new guy calls himself Grandmaster something. Grandmaster Prime. And Hulk shows right the hell up and just starts wailing on him. He's like, you hurt me. You actually hurt me. So he punches Hulk in his face, who starts laughing over the hurt you, and just cracks up as he's knocked into space. Meanwhile, with all the Hulks out of commission, Bobby DaCosta takes off, undoes his regulator band, which means his powers could now kill him because of the virus he's got from the whatever the fuck mists, the Inhuman mists.
Origin.
Sure, why not? And but because he's taking it off, that means he can go full strength. So as long as he's charged up by the sun, he's gonna reach into those lower Hulk echelons. So he's gonna lots of people sacrificing things. Batman Detective, the colony wants you.
Oh, look, no fingerprints.
Yeah, see, look. Oh, I can look at that. Ooh, nothing.
Little far on that last one.
I'm a lick Azrael. Sword of Azrael. La la la. Anywho, this cuts back and forth between the now and the leading up to nows, and that little shit Ulysses has taken on the identity of a previous Titans and Robin villain, so he is the new, not New 52, but the Rebirth era reintroduced, reimagined, the General, and he's not here to save some time on car insurance. And he is, turning people into Omax with the help of Brother Eye, which Omax always upset me for two reasons. One, they've introduced an actual Omac character who doesn't turn it. He's more, they've got that Giffen Dandidio Omac, who's more like a reimagining of the Kirby Omac. But then they've got these Omacs, and I'm like, well, wait, so which is Omac? And that Omac talks to Brother Eye. So what Brother Eye? How many Brother Eyes are there in the DC universe? You're already confused. We already need a crisis. You're only just reborn. Plus, last time, anytime those blue Omacs show up, I gotta start, buying a little protective helmets for Ted Court. So, plus, somebody that you wouldn't expect is getting turned into one by the end of the book. It's Tim Drake. Shh, don't tell Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, the Dark Stars are reborn, which I'm happy with. But to do so, they've taken Tomar 2 and just had him embrace his sociopathic Punisher view of policing the galaxy. That makes me sad. So, it's good and bad. Hey there, world. I'm your wild girl. Domino. And before you give me any shit for that, Gail actually writes that into there. Yes, Domino introduces herself to a group of people she's about to fuck up the lives of by singing a customized about herself version of Cherry Bomb. So, what the fuck else do you need to know? First off, it's Gail Simone on Domino. Right? Domino was always one of those characters. I did not go out of my way to buy any of his stuff. I know her from when she was in books that I read. Cool enough, another probability character. Probability characters in the Marvel Universe have to have something around their eyes. Got it. Understand how probability works. Longshot had the eye that glowed. Longshot had the eye that glowed. Shatterstar had the tattoo of the glowing eye, and Domino has the tattoo. David Baldion's art. I have always been a big fan of David Baldion. I've read books. He's one of those artists who I will read books and go, why not? I'll read this because he's on it. So yeah, I read Nova, Girl Without a Country. It was a good comic. Changed my mind. I'm a meme. Anyway.
Yes, you are.
It's Domino's birthday. We get her team. She adopts. We've got a new third stringer who may or may not be brand new. I don't know enough. I don't keep track of those 11th string mutants. But she adopts one called Greywing, who's like a guy who turns into... He's like a Marvel mutant who's like a awkward-looking, pudgy guy who turns into a man-bat kind of thing. And she adopts him. Why not? Fuck it. She takes him in and says, look, because one, Gail does great with those kind of characters, and two, why the hell not? Domino's like, look, we've all, life's thrown all of us horrible decks. It's not his fault. Let's help him out. Somebody is after Domino. Someone who seems to have the power to shut Domino down, and by the end of this, they pulled a comedian. They toss her out through the glass of her building window. But unlike the comedian in Watchmen, Domino's in her lacy underthings at the time. I think it would have been a very different story had comedian been in lacy underthings, and I totally would have bought multiple copies. Champions. First, not number one. Issue number 19. This is what's Zub's first name? Steve? Is it Steve Zub? His first issue. Mark Waid has left. And so I had missed the last issue. Like I never even read it. I had to buy it today because I was very confused. I was like, wait, what happened to Mark Waid's last issue? And the Viv storyline. So Viv's back in the robot. Human Viv is back in the robot body of her robot sister because they kind of had a fight and yada yada. Now they've got a Champions mobile ship.
Sure, why not?
That they built, because everybody on this team, with the exception of like Nova and Spidey, or everyone on this team is some level of genius. But everything on it seems good so far. They've also got the Wasp is on the team now, and so is Ironheart. But things look problematic for Nova, and what is kind of Cyclops had left at the end of the last issue. But what is also kind of confusing to me is that last issue they just doubled down on how Ms. Marvel was very upset that they've been just punching bad guys again. They weren't doing their original charter, which was to be, basically, they are the team of actual social justice warriors. And this starts off, they're just punching bad guys. And they're, it's a very good team book. The art is beautiful. The story is well written, but I'd like them to at least address if they said, you know what, fuck it, it's not worth trying to fix the wrongs of the world. We're just going to punch bad guys again, because they're so far off what they're. And I get that's a hard book to write, the social justice warrior angle. Flash number 44, Perfect Storm. All the Flashes save the day, because once again Barry's ready to pull a Crisis on Infinite Earths and run around the negative Speed Force Storm to make it go away, even if it means killing him. But the other Flashes show up and go, you don't have to do this shit alone. Plus, as he points out, people love to ask who's faster, him or Wally. But as it turns out, they run faster together, and they all. It's him, Wally, Godspeed, the Flash of China, whoever the chick is in the Dark Flash costume, and other Wally, and they all just kind of take it out. And he seems to have reconnected, at least for the moment, with Iris. But of course, there's turmoil ahead as Zoom is in the future, ready to fuck with shit. Sideways. Number 3, I'm trying. It's continuing to have there's potential, and there are moments that it reaches up, but it still hasn't gelled enough. I mean, we're only on issue 3, but it still hasn't gelled enough where it's reaching that potential consistently. I'm not sure how long I'm going to follow that. Exiles number 1 was the train wreck I expected it to be. I loved the original Exiles. I was hoping to get some of that. Blink was cool. Sleepless number 5 continues to be one of my favorite comics. A fantasy fantasy thriller, like one of those like Game of Thrones with the Manchurian Candidate kind of vibe going on, a political thriller in a fantasy world. And the Sleepless are the guards who they don't sleep. They literally, once they're pledged to you, they don't sleep until they die, which has just happened. And now one of the leaders of the Sleepless Order has just died. The new king is doubting the need for the Sleepless and thinking of, even though it would be basically blasphemy to release them from their vows. And our young princess comes really no closer. She maybe have a lead to who's trying to kill her, but her number 1 suspect is not, and she's now formed an uneasy alliance. Well, not an easy alliance, but an awkward friendship with the princess, the heir princess, the heir apparent. Oblivion Song, number 2. Kirkman and De Felici's half the world, not half, but a good chunk of the population of this city has been transported to another world, including the brother of our hero, who's the one who figured out they were taken to this other world, and has figured out a way to go back and forth, trying to save people. The government isn't backing him anymore because he's finding less and less people, but he's got a lead now on his brother, and he's still trying to go back even on his own. Meanwhile, there's drama going on in the lives. If you thought your husband was dead for 2 years and then he's brought back from this other universe.
Yeah.
You know, what do you do, especially with the man you've been in love with for at least 1 year out of the 2 years that you thought your husband was dead? You know, it's good. It's Kirkman, and he just really gets in. He's good at those fuck with your live moments.
Yeah, he is.
Jackhammer, Paper Hero, one shot number 1 by my personal friend Brandon Barrows. This one shot spins out of the Jackhammer series that they've done for Action Lab, and Jackhammer was the superhero name of Jack McGriskin, who's now a private investigator. He doesn't go by Jackhammer anymore. The days of the superheroes are done. But Monkey Business, a man who looks like a monkey in a business suit. God, I love you, Brandon. I also hate you because now that's not a thing I can do. Unless one day you let me write a backup story in one of your books. Anyway, Monkey Business is on trial, and he buggers off. I mean, he's a cheeky little monkey. And he goes running off, and Jack follows suit. Along the way, a child with his mother recognizes Jack because he was a huge fan when Jack was Jackhammer, and, you know, breaks away from his mother to watch his hero in action. There are casualties. And this is the story of, you know, Jack dealing with that, the mother dealing with that. That same kind of weight to those issues when My Beloved Speedball, pre-penance, but when he had fallen, you know, when he had caused the blowing up of that school, but then he and the mother of one of the children from the school, you know, had to kind of, you know, come to grips with what happened. That same level, and just really well done. Brandon can write. X-Men Red number 3. Cassandra Nova's a bitch. I mean, I suspect we knew that. This book, who's writing this? Tom Taylor? That makes sense. Tom Taylor actually made me feel bad for Gambit. And made me, he wrote several pages of Gambit in which I forgot to hate Gambit. And I hate Gambit. But he made, look, there he is on the cover. Fucker.
Fingerprints.
Take that, Gambit. But a couple of promising New Mutants have their lives cut short these days. One in the beginning of this book and one in the end. Again, Cassandra Nova's a bitch. Anyway, X-Men Red is currently, I think, my favorite of the ongoing X-Men books. Evolution Animosity. Look at them all looking like little private eyes. The plot thickens, and the leopard is cunning, and has a plan for how to deal with Wintermute and her technologically advanced animal army, and shit gets intense. Just as you're thinking, you know, you see the plot going in a certain way, you know, you throw in a leopard, and leopards don't change their spots, but they will change yours. And finally, issue 700 of Captain America that ends the Mark Waid saga of Cap in the not too distant dystopic future, and ends Chris Samney's run. Very sad to see Chris Samney go. Good ending to it. Not at all what I thought. You know, you end up with double Caps, and you know, our Cap actually dies, but in a way that will prevent the Cap. You know, our Cap travels back in time, gets there before he was lost into time again. He's able to stop it from happening at the cost of himself, so we don't end up with two Caps. So it's kind of a nice, but unfortunately our Cap doesn't know that it happened. So there's a touching moment that even Cap doesn't know happens at the end of this. It's Mark Waid. It's Captain America. You know, what do you want? It's good. Read it. And That's it. What are you looking for?